Hello and welcome. I'm Blair Blackwell, and this is the Daily Market Brief. Let's catch up on what's moving in markets today.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, 21 January, London Open Prep. Here are the key themes shaping the day. A safe haven bid is driving gold and silver to fresh records ahead of President Trump's Davos speech. Japan's bond market has calmed after a sharp sell-off that rattled global rates. And oil is firmer on supply headlines, while the US dollar looks mixed across regions. At Davos, President Trump is back en route after an aircraft switch overnight and is due to speak early afternoon London time. His recent tariff threats, including tensions with Europe and even a Greenland angle, have revived talk of a sell America trade, giving high beta currencies some lift. Meanwhile, the World Economic Forum itself is debating whether it has outgrown Davos, with alternative venues floated. A reminder that the global policy conversation is shifting, and so are the optics. Safe haven demand is front and center. Gold has set another record, extending a powerful run as investors hedge policy and trade uncertainty alongside a softer US dollar tone. Silver is hovering near its own all-time highs, pausing into the Trump speech window, suggesting event risk could be the next catalyst. In Asia, one of the most important stories is Japan's bond market. After a steep push higher in long-dated yields this week, there's a bit of respite today, but the move has been large enough to focus minds on fiscal risks and the Bank of Japan's next steps. The yen has been choppy, supported at times by safe haven flows and intervention fears. While labor leaders say the backdrop for this year's wage talks is not so bad, keeping the domestic reflation storyline alive. Yet policy clarity is still awaited. Energy is getting a supply nudge. West Texas Intermediate is edging toward a key round level after output was temporarily halted at two big fields in Kazakhstan. And in corporate oil, Canada's Cenovus is weighing the sale of conventional assets that could raise over $2 billion to trim debt after its MEG energy takeover, though a deal isn't assured. Currencies show a mixed dollar. The New Zealand dollar is firmer as tariff headlines bolster the Sell America narrative, but the Indian rupee has slumped to a record low against the dollar on persistent foreign investor outflows. Dollar Canada is heavy near recent lows, with more downside flagged if tensions linger and oil stays bid, while the Australian dollar is broadly sidelined, and yen crosses, like Aussie yen, are softer on safe haven demand. Looking ahead, the calendar brings UK inflation at 7 a.m. London time, where markets expect a mild re-acceleration that keeps the Bank of England on hold next month. The main event risk is President Trump's Davos address this afternoon. Japan policy signals and any updates on Kazakhstan's production, plus WEF chatter, round out the day. What I'll be watching today: gold against the US dollar, looking for the uptrend to hold if trade rhetoric stays hot. The New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar, for a continued grind higher on Sell America sentiment. Dollar rupee, where the uptrend bears watching if outflows persist. Aussie yen, with a downside bias if risk aversion and Japan policy uncertainty keep safe haven flows in play. And dollar Canada, for a drift lower if crude remains supported and US-EU tensions weigh on the greenback. The takeaway: markets are defensive, not panicked, and positioning around policy headlines is doing the heavy lifting. Optimism is on hold until signals at Davos and from Tokyo become clearer.
That's it for today's edition of the Daily Market Brief. Thanks for listening. I'm Blair Blackwell. This podcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute financial advice, trading recommendations, or investment guidance.